Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I am going to be rating every head coach's performance through 3 weeks of NFL football. We are going to be doing this tier list style, and before we hop right into it, we got a couple of plugs as always. So, don't forget to use code Wyatt's World on G Fuel or Prize Picks, where you can save yourself a discount on any G Fuel products, or guarantee yourself to win a free $50 with your first $5 lineup after using code Wyatt's World at sign up on Prize Picks. Like I said yesterday, the Caleb Williams free square is still going on this weekend. You can use it if you've already done it, so all he needs is 1 yard for the entry to win. But always play responsibly, and let's get into the video. Alright guys, so here's the list we're going to be working with today, and I guess this is also a form of the hot seat. At the top of the list, we have the head coaches who I think are elite. Under that, we've got the coaches who I don't think are a problem. In the middle, we've got the coaches where the seat is warm, but keep this in mind, I don't exactly mean that they're close to being fired, I just mean that there is definitely some eyes being looked at them. Under that, we have it where the seat is hot. That means you're definitely getting close to losing your job, and bottoming out the list, we've got the guys who are on fire, and that means I could see them getting fired literally any second. Sound good? Awesome. Let's start with Andy Reid. So Andy Reid is one of the coaches that just kind of by default has to go in the elite category. Not only is he undefeated this year, but he's won, 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 seasons. But if you look past that and actually look at kind of what he's playing against this year, I mean, their offense is definitely riddled with injuries right now. They're not going to have Hollywood Brown for a long time. Pacheco is out. Travis Kelce's playing like a 40-year-old father who's never touched a football in his life. Yet they're still moving the ball. They're still finding ways to get points. They're still undefeated. After Andy Reid, we've got Antonio Pierce. I don't think he's an issue yet. I really don't. I think he provides great energy to the locker room. I think the players enjoy playing for him. And I don't think this guy's ever really had a shot to coach with a really good offense either. He has weapons, but he does not have a good offense. Now moving on, we have Brian Callahan. I mean, if you're asking me, he ain't a problem. I actually think he's kind of a good coach. He's very cutthroat, doesn't beat around the bush. He's old school, tells you how it is. He knows how to get down the field. He knows how to run an offense. He just needs a quarterback who has a brain. Moving on, we got Brian Daboll. His seat's probably warm at this point. I still don't think, it's hot. He's under the gun. But if you just look at his success as a head coach outside of his first year, there's got to be some questions about how long they are going to continue to remain with him. I don't think he's a bad coach, but also in today's market, might not be the best option they could have. Now moving on, we have Dan Campbell. I still think he's elite. I know he has already basically admitted to the fact that he's the reason they're not 3-0, and honestly, that just makes him more elite. Look at it from a grand scale of things. He is one of the best things to ever happen to that organization. He has this team in the best shape I have ever seen them in my life. All coaches lose games, but he wins a hell of a lot more of them than he loses. Now moving on, we have Dan Quinn. Through my eyes, I don't like him, and I would say his seat is warm. He's not killing it by any means. Sure, the Commanders are 2-1. He ain't calling plays on offense, and he's not calling them on defense. He became the head coach, dropped all play calling duties, brought Joe Witt Jr. with him from Dallas, made him the defensive coordinator, and now they have the 4th worst defense in the league and 2nd worst against the pass, which is something Joe Witt's supposed to specialize in. I don't think he's making good things happen there. I think Jaden Daniels is. Moving on, we got Dave Canales. His seat's got to be a little bit warm. I mean, he was brought there to fix Bryce Young, and 3 weeks into the season, Bryce Young was riding the pine. Very curious to see his season play out with Andy Dalton and apparently Bryce, who is expected to start again at some point. Now moving on, we got DeMeco Ryans. Not a problem. I'm not going to give him elite because he did just get destroyed by the Vikings. In the first 2 weeks, they did end up becoming pretty close games, and if I'm understanding right, he is the defensive play caller over there. But I don't think he's doing a bad job by any means, and he has the team in a better position than we've seen him in a very long time. Now moving on, we have Dennis Allen. I know he's turned things around this season, or appeared to have, but his seat's still got to be hot. This has still got to be the final stretch they're riding with him, unless he does something catastrophic this season. The guy's like 26-47 all time as a head coach. Even when he was with the Raiders, he wasn't good. And now we got Doug Dimmadome, Doug Peterson. He's on fire. He could be gone literally tomorrow. He hasn't done anything good since the halfway point of last season, and all of his coaches are also fucking ass. We just talked about this. Now we got Jared Mayo. Oh, he ain't a problem. I like him. I think he's a very, very likable person. I also just think it's too early to really blame him for anything. If anything, it's more impressive that the Patriots have competed in 2 of their 3 games and they actually have a win. Now moving on, we got Jim Harbaugh. Not a problem at all. He's always been a good NFL head coach. I think he's great at managing games, and I think he excels at identifying talents in individual players and finding ways to use them in the best and most effective ways possible. Now we've got his brother, John Harbaugh. His seat's warm. I refuse to think it's hot. I refuse to think the Ravens will ever actually pull the trigger on him, but I do know that there is frustrations with him. His decision making can be crazy. His use of timeouts can be foolish. His use of challenges can be foolish. But when he's continuously had you guys recognized as one of the better organizations, you know, pretty much solidly since 2008, besides a couple years, like, you have to appreciate what the guy's done. He's a good coach. Now we've got Murr from Impractical Jokers, Jonathan Gannon. I don't think he's a problem. Never thought he was a problem. Matter of fact, the Cardinals are just better than what their record shows too. They're 1-2. Their 2 losses are to the Bills and the Lions by 1 score each. Now we've got Kevin O'Connell, elite. What do you fucking mean? He's got Coach of the Year on lockdown. He's about to get probably the biggest extension in coaching history. Every year this guy deals with shit. Every year he deals with injuries. Yet he continues to make the Vikings relevant, and this year has them off to a better start than I've seen in a considerable amount of time. Now moving on, we have Kevin Stefanski. I think he's a very good coach. I really do. You go try driving down the field once without Nick Chubb and with Deshaun Watson as your quarterback, because you're not going to be able to do it. I think he's a big reason as to why one of the most irrelevant organizations in NFL history has been brought to light over the last 5 years. And now we got Kyle Shanahan. I mean, you got to imagine someone's looking at him weird right now. Really? I mean, 2 weeks ago in Minnesota, you were blatantly outplayed. Last week, you had the Rams dead to rights and you blew it. Now moving on, we have Matt Eberflus. I think his seat's hot. I really do. He has not had an impressive stint as a head coach at all, and now I'm starting to read rumblings that he's on the verge of losing his locker room. After games, they're asking players about plays that aren't working, and the players are saying they're not happy with the play calls at all, and Matt Eberflus is coming back to say that they're good calls, it's just poor execution, basically, you know, blaming the players. 3 weeks in and we're already starting to fire. It ain't good. Now moving on, we have Matt LaFleur. He's elite. I know, I've gone through the trenches with him. I called him a guy who was carried by Rodgers, to a guy who is just decent, to now a guy who I think is better than most coaches. I think he's great at playing from behind. He's great at closing out games. He's another coach that just overcomes any obstacle thrown at him. And that'll bring us to Mike Macdonald. He's not a problem at all, but kind of like I just said yesterday, I don't think he's doing as good as a 3-0 record shows. You had 2 close games with 2 not very good teams at all, and then you guys beat on a team who never really had a chance to begin with. But that being said, you guys are playing good football. Now we got Mike McDaniel. I won't say he's on the hot seat, even though I think he should be, but the idiots just extended him for like 3 years, so you gotta imagine they're gonna continue to roll with him. But at the same time, you're just in absolute denial if you don't think that he is at least a little bit part of the problem going on there right now. Your offense fucking sucks. You're the only team to not hold an offensive lead at any point during this season. And now we got Mike McCarthy. His seat is hot and it would be on fire, but the Dallas Cowboys have never fired a head coach during the season, ever. Mike McCarthy is a decent regular season head coach most of the time. But you put him against a top team, they struggle. You put him against a good offense, they struggle. And you put him in the postseason, it's a guaranteed loss with him. Now moving on, we have Mike Tomlin. This is just another year of him proving why he's one of the best coaches ever. Another year of the Steelers offense coming in with question marks. Another year of the Steelers team coming in with not a lot of expectations outside of the city of Pittsburgh. And another year where they are proving us all wrong. Now we got Nick Sirianni. I almost want to say he's on fire. I will say his seat's hot though. I think he's a brain dead fucking idiot. I think his decision making is absolutely stupid. And I think when it comes to maintaining a lead, this guy is about as useful as a fork when it comes to eating tomato soup. He's another coach, much like Doug, that I just don't think has been good for quite some time now. Now we got Raheem Morris. Again, not a problem yet. I think the Falcons are outplaying their record as well. But at the same time with him, I don't really have much to say about him in a beneficial matter. I just haven't really noticed him that much. Now moving on, we have Robert Saleh. I actually think his seat went from hot to warm with Aaron Rodgers' success. Been knowing he knows how to operate a really good defense over there, and I don't think he actually is like the worst coach in the league by any means. But the staff he's brought in and just how the team has performed up until now under him, it hasn't been good, injury or not. And now we've got Sean McDermott, elite. I'm not even biased for having Minnesota and Buffalo coaches there. For someone who, to Buffalo outsiders, has been on the hot seat for so long now, he's doing a pretty fucking good job. Constant injuries, roster moves, switching coordinators mid-season. The team never changes, and one of my favorite things about the guy is last year when they got rid of Leslie Frazier. He said, fuck it, I'm gonna show you guys that we can still run a good defense here. I'll call plays. His defense finished in the top 10 and allowed the 4th fewest points, and then this year comes back and says, all right, I'm gonna go back to being a coach now. Someone else take care of it. And we're 3-0. He knows staff, he knows his players, he knows how to manage a fucking game. Now moving on, we have Sean McVay. I consider him one of the best and smartest coaches I'm probably ever going to see in my lifetime. There is not a roster you can give this man that he can't make something do with. I think he has had 1 year below 500 with the Rams, and that was the year where they were absolutely fucked with injuries. This guy runs an offense like he's quite literally holding a PS5 controller. Now we've got Sean McVay. Peyton, I meant Sean Payton. Too fucking late to fix it now. Gotta imagine the seat's warm. They gave up a boat to get him, you know, not too long ago, so they're gonna continue to roll with him, but he has not been a great head coach. Matter of fact, I think he has kind of destroyed the team he was supposed to do something with. Now we got Shane Steichen, not a problem. I refuse to call him a problem when his quarterback couldn't hit a target 5 feet in front of him. I do not hate AR. I dealt with rookie Josh Allen. I was also very hard on rookie Josh Allen. Now we've got Todd Bowles. I've come to light with him. I actually don't think he's that bad of a coach. Turned things around last year. I gave all the credit to Canales. Canales is gone and he's still doing just fine. He's not in charge of the O-line, giving up 7 fucking sacks. And ending, we have Zach Taylor. I actually think his seat is starting to heat up now. I think it's starting to get hot. I think he's been riding on a Super Bowl appearance for a couple years now in a really good offense. And then last year they lost Joe Burrow, so it was expected for them to slack a little bit, but now this year with him, they're starting off 0-3 on the verge of already drowning out their season. I think he's probably cooler than the rest of these guys, but I'm still putting him in this category. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is also it for me ranking every head coach's performance after 3 weeks. And that is also where I'm going to end today's video, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked it and want to show support, please do it because you know I appreciate any and all help. Also, there is a Twitter reaction video going down tomorrow, so please feel free to go on Twitter and give me some of your takes. The tweet should be the last thing I posted. However, in the meantime, I'm going to get this edited so you guys can watch it on time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and as always, I will see you in the next video.